Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all? Hi, Anne. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Connie. And they are available on Lisa's website singly. Did you know that? I know they've sold out as a bundle, but they are available individually. I'm not sure whether they've still got all colours, but I've just checked one colour and that's there, so maybe worth a look. So how are we all? Did we all have a fabulous Christmas and a brilliant New Year? Hi Irene, hi Janet, hi Val, hi Sam, Carol, Debbie, Nat from Alberta in Canada, welcome. Hi Julie, listening and working. I'd forget the work bit, Julie. So did we all buy Gilding Flakes? Have we all invested? Oh, bless you, Seal, thank you. I have missed it, I've got to be honest. It's nice to have a break, but I think that's when you realise what you get out of it, really. Some New Year crafting, yes, definitely, Janet. No pencil and paper today, no measurements, no nothing. I thought I'd break you in gently this year. Although I'm not sure Gilding Flakes would be classed as breaking you in gently. Got the Gilding Flakes, but not the adhesive. Hopefully won't be too long. I'm sure Lisa said it would be here in the beginning of January, so I'm sure she will update you on Friday. Couldn't get on with them. I must admit, Janet, I've had them before, and I was a little bit the same. And I think, to be honest, it's probably because I didn't take the time to experiment and look for a few demos and things. But I have to say, I'm a little bit hooked, as you'll see by what I'm going to show you this afternoon. Just waiting, Hazel. I don't think it'll be very long. I know they've still got about 400 orders to get out from before Christmas, so hopefully it won't be too long. Hi Doreen, hi Hazel, hi Gaynor. Thank you, and the same to you. Hope you had a lovely time. Hi Carolyn. I've not seen Margaret yet, so maybe Margaret's at the hospital with her husband, hoping that he's home very soon. You'll see after watching. I'm not saying they're not messy. They're sort of controllable if you're careful. I must remember not to cough, sneeze, or I've got no aircon, so that's not a problem. So let's make a start, shall we? There's quite a few of you here. So for the card that was on the event banner, I used this set, the Off the Edge Sunflowers, which is still available on Lisa's website. And I've put you the QR code up here and there, so that you can go to the website and buy if you wish. It's a fabulous little set, and I like this because it's sort of just line art, and you don't have to colour it. So I've obviously used Gilding Flakes to colour mine. I've used 3 colours on here, and that was the rose gold. I love this colour. Beautiful, beautiful colour. The vintage gold and the tarnished silver, because I think they just all worked really, really well together. And once I'd put the colours on and then brushed them all off, I've put them into a tub, so that I've got a mix there of all those 3 colours. And I've written on the tub, other yogurts are available, obviously. But I've written on the tub what colours are in here, so that if I want to do a mix again, I've already got a mix there ready to use next time I want to use it. So I've done several of those. I've got several little pots here. And then I just used the gold on this bit, and then I mixed them and put the gold and the rose gold and the silver as well on the other bit of the sentiment. I am going to do a sentiment with you just to show you how easy it is, but I've already done the sentiment for today's card just in case I went a bit wrong. So it's called sort of, you know, belt and braces type thing. Looking after myself, basically. Hi, Otter Lady. Happy New Year. Hi, Sue. Hi, Rebecca. So the reason I've put this on a separate piece of card was because I had stamped the sentiment on the main piece, but I hadn't caught it all quite right. And I'd already taken the card away out of my platform, so I couldn't put it back and guarantee getting it in the same place. So I put this on a separate piece. And actually, this piece of card here, I've used the card that comes with the stencil brushes. So you know the backing card that's in the pack, I've used that. It's a cracking little piece of card to stamp onto. It's really, really useful. So I've just used the gold satin card so that it all sort of matches. And then this is the sunflower, vellum out of the Modern Florals kit. Not that you can see a great deal, but I wanted to use this because it matched the sunflower stamp. Okay, so that's sort of where we're headed, but I've used a different stamp set for today. Okay, so I've just put that to one side. So the stamp set that I've used today is the Off the Edge Vintage Roses. Now this one isn't available, but I really love this corner stamp, and I wanted to use the flakes with this stamp just to see what it looked like. So I've not done it, so it's going to be new to me as well. Okay, hi Susan. So that's the stamp that I'm using, and then I'm going to use this because, and I think I've used It's Your Birthday, so I've used that one and this one. Okay, so if we do the sentiment first, I've cut a piece of card here. I'll get my platform out. I've got a piece of card ready just to do the sentiment, and I'm going to pop it into my platform. And I am going to use the magnets, but what I'm also going to use is some tape, just to tape this down because I definitely don't want it to move. Okay, I'm going to use an anti-static bag just to help the Gilding Flakes not stick where I don't want them to stick. Now I'm going to stamp it in two parts because this is quite a big thick stamp, and I'm not sure whether the smaller part of the sentiment is the same depth. Hello, Tom. Just woke up and stumbled in. Well, how nice of you to join us. Happy New Year. So because I'm not sure whether it's the same depth, I'm going to stamp them separately, okay? But because this is going to stay tacky, I'm not worried that I'm not going to get time to stamp the other before the glue goes off, because it just won't. Okay, and I'll prove that to you in a minute. So I'm going to pop that down there, lift it up with my, if it'll stick to my platform, lift it up with my platform. Okay, and then I'm just going to, can you still see what I'm doing? Use my glue, make sure I use the right one. I'm going to pop some glue on here. This is just an ordinary little sponge that goes on for stamping with, basically. But I've kept some for just glue. I'm spreading this glue around. I haven't used a great deal, just enough really. And then I'm just going to sort of ink up, if you like, with glue on this word stamp here. Okay. Now the reason I've used tape is, as I said, I don't want this piece of card to move. So I am going to have a ruler handy just to keep a bit of pressure on this card when I lift this up, because obviously this is going to stick to my card. So I'm just going to rub that down. I'm actually going to lift that up. I'm going to move that magnet from the top because I actually think it's going to stop me. Come on. See, now this was why I did what I did. Ugh. I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to hope that I can put this back in the right place. Let me just lift it up and move it so that hopefully it's in the same place. I'm not worried because, as I say, I've already done one. And if it's in the wrong place, I'm not particularly worried. It's just really to show you the technique. That'll do. I'm going to take that off, and what I would suggest you do, as soon as you've used this, because this glue is water soluble, just spray it with a little bit of water, place it face down on a mat, and then you can easily wipe off any little excess glue that's on there. Okay, so I'm going to put my other stamp down here, hoping it fits properly. I'm going to put that up there, water on there, lift the stamp up off my card, and then do the same again. I am going to add just a little bit more glue. I don't really think I need a great deal, but just to sort of make absolutely certain. And when you're doing a smaller sentiment stamp, just go really gentle. Don't put too much pressure on what you're applying the glue with, because what will happen is the glue will spread out onto the surround of the words, and you don't want that. You literally want the glue on the words, just the words. Okay, so let's pop this down here and then rub that along there. Take my ruler, hold that piece of card down and lift that up. That's stamped beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to take that off there, take that off there. I'm just going to put this platform to one side. I'm going to take this off here, spray it with a little bit of water and put it face down on my, it's actually on my cutting mat that goes with the Ultimate. Okay, so I'll leave my magnets there. I'll move this out of the way. Don't use Gilding Flakes on your silicone mat because you'll never get rid of them. And then we're just going to add Gilding Flakes on here. Okay, so I'm just going to add one colour on this one. I am just going to use anti-static bag on the back there, just to try and help with the Gilding Flakes not sticking. Okay. Oh, hi Lisa. So I'm just spreading these out, and these are only going to stick where the glue is. So try and spread them as opposed to adding too many, because they're only going to stick where the glue is. Okay. Spread them out. Until you can't really feel any more glue, which I don't think I can. And then rub them down with your finger. Okay, now it hasn't actually stamped properly, so I'm glad I've done this as a separate thing. So when you're stamping with your glue, just make sure that you've got a full coverage. You know, like when you're doing with inks and you're making sure that you've stamped in the right place and that you've stamped it fully, you need to do the same with the ink. Okay, but for this, it's just a little, oh, it might have done actually. And you can see where you've stamped. It does sort of stand out. So you'll be able to see any bits that you're missing. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the lid on here. I've got a tub that's got some blue bits in somewhere. Blue. So I'm just going to pop these bits in here. Okay, and then hopefully, because I use the anti-static bag, it will take most of those bits off. And then all you need to do is get a cloth or a piece of kitchen roll, whatever, and then just wipe the excess off. Those extra little bits of glitter will fall off over time, and it's only going to leave you with your sentiment. So can you see that? I think that looks amazing. And they're so shiny. Hi Pat, Happy New Year. And they're so shiny they're just amazing. I just think they're fabulous. I don't know whether you've seen Maria's little reel in the group where she's just used some crumpled up paper and done sort of a textured background. I think that's a fabulous idea. If you have not seen that, go and have a look at that. It's really, really easy and such a clever effect. So go and have a look at that if you haven't seen it. Right. So this was the card that I already, sort of the backing card that I did, and this was the same sentiment that I've used. And you can see here that I've used more than one colour. So I've used the warm lavender, the rose blush and the sea green. And I just think they go together really, really well. And they're sort of random where you put them. And I just think they look fabulous. Once they're down and burnished, I think they look amazing. So we're going to have a go at doing the image that I want on there, which is that beautiful corner stamp. Okay, now because this is a bit bigger, I'm going to use the magnets because they're going to give me a little bit of extra help with keeping this in one place. But I am also going to use a bit of tape just to keep this down. Okay, so this is the corner stamp that I'm using, and I've gone for the bigger one. I'm going to have to move that over a bit. I've gone for the bigger one because I just think, well, if you're going to do it, go big, go bold. Okay, so I've placed my stamp in the corner there. I'm going to lift it up, hoping it sticks to my platform. Okay, anti-static bag so that my flakes don't stick, hopefully, to where I don't want them to stick. They're going to stick somewhere, but they're not going to stay. It's only because of the static that's in it. Okay, so don't worry, you will get rid of it completely. All right, so if I just move this across here so that you can see this bit, and then we're going to do exactly the same again. Now, this is a big stamp, so you might have to go a little bit bolder with your glue, and you might have to do it more than once. Oh, I've got Gilding Flakes on that now. I've got another one here. Use the metal one. So I'm just going to spread this over here, like so. And you just want a covering. You don't want it too thick, because you don't want to sort of go over the edges. So spread it thinly, and then all you're doing is literally stamping down. And I wouldn't rub it. I would tamp it up and down, and hopefully that will give you a really good coverage. Now obviously I've taped this down and I'm using my magnets, so hopefully if it doesn't all take the first time, I can actually go back and re-glue it and stamp it down again. And that's the beauty of having the platform, of course, that you can do that. So let's go with this, see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to press this down. Now you want to be quick with this bit because obviously it's glue and it's going to stick to your card. So, but you can go back in and redo it. Okay, so lift that gently because you don't want it to tear the card either. So lift it gently until it comes away from your card, like so. And have a look. And actually, I think that is pretty good. I don't know whether you can see that. Yeah, if I tilt it slightly, you can actually see that full image. Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. And it's going to stay tacky until you put something on it. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my spray of water. I'm going to spray that stamp all over, just so that it's wet all over. And then I'm going to put it face down on my cutting mat so that when I've finished, I can just take a baby wipe or something like that and wipe it all off. Of course, you can rinse it under the tap, warm water, and then let it air dry naturally. Okay, so we're going to take this off here because, again, we don't want to use Gilding Flakes with a silicone mat. How do I know what it does? Can you see the Gilding Flakes all over my platform? That's how I know what it does. So we'll move that out of the way, and then we'll come on here ready to apply our flakes. Okay, so I'm just going to go back on this piece of paper with my anti-static bag just to see if I can help it, and I'm using 3 colours on here. Okay, I'm going with the rose blush, sea green and warm lavender. Okay, now I have got some in here, but I want to use the separate colours because I want the green on the leaves, and then I'm going to use the pink and the lavender on the flowers. Okay, so let's use the green first, and as I say, this is only going to stick where there is glue, so just move it about. I'm not worried about it being completely accurate. Okay, so if I've got some green on the flowers, I'm not gonna sort of worry about it too much, because it really isn't gonna matter. Okay, so we'll put that on there first, and then we'll go in with colours, and all these extra bits are going in this pot. Okay, so we're going to go in with the purple first, and I'm just going to try and go in the middle of these roses. Okay, with the purple, so I'm sticking centre. I'm not worried if it's not completely in the centre, because obviously once you sort of take some away, it's going to look fab anyway. Okay, so I've gone in with the purple in the middle, and then we're going to go with the rose blush on the rest of what's left. Okay, so again, just move it around because it's only going to stick where there is glue. Okay, now these are quite compacted in these bottles, so there is loads, and once you've sort of mixed colours, you're going to have so many different combinations that you can use in the future. You're just going to have so much fun. Yes, it's messy, but gosh, it's fun. So just move those around so you can sort of perhaps not feel too much sticky, and then just burnish it with your finger. I am going to go and just add a little bit more. I would normally have put some talc on my hands to try and help with the static, but I forgot. So I'll do it now, and then hopefully not too much will stick. So I'm going to burnish that with my finger, and then I'm going to take my little flat stencil brush. It's a very old one, this, which I have dipped in talc to try and help with the static, and then I'm literally just going to go in and rub away the excess flakes. Excuse me. So we're rubbing away the excess here so that you're going to get left with just the line art being covered in Gilding Flakes. And I just think it looks so beautiful, and it's so bright. You know, some glitters can just be a little bit dull when you've added them to a card, but these are just phenomenal. So I'm going to pop that in there and try and put all of this in here. I'm not worried about going it all in, because the little tiny bits won't really matter. You will need a hoover. You will definitely need a hoover, because once you've finished, you'll find Gilding Flakes everywhere. Trust me. Look, see, everywhere. But I think the effect you're left with is so worth it. I mean, look at that. Okay, I've got to get rid of all of this, but that soon disappears. Once you've added it to your card and you've been able to sort of give it a little brush over. Some of these little makeup brushes that they're really, really soft, and if you just use it and flick it across the card, it will get rid of all those little bits. And as I say, as the day wears on, those little bits will float away anyway. Okay, so sorry if that fast movement messed with the camera. So I'm just going to add this on here, like so. And I'm not 3Ding this because I think the beauty of this card is the actual gilding flakes and the colours that you get. So I am only just going to glue this down normally. I'm not 3Ding this at all. So we'll just put a little bit of glue on the back and then stick it down to and I've used the purple satin card from Lisa's fabulous satin card that she brought out not so long back, because it's just such a beautiful colour, and I think it actually goes really well with the warm lavender that's in the Gilding Flakes. So I'm just going to pop that down there. And the other thing I'd say when you're using these flakes is try not to get any glue on your fingers, because as soon as you get glue on your fingers, that is going to stick to the Gilding Flakes and you're going to end up with Gilding Flakes everywhere. So try not to get it on your fingers, because it'll stick to your fingers and then it'll stick to the card where you don't want it. Okay, so I've got a little bit of gold there or something else, but I think just that on its own, it's such a simple card, but it's so effective. I think it's really, really fab. Use this. That's a good idea, Tom. I must get one of them. So yeah, I think that's a really cool effect, and you can do this with any stamp. Okay, and just to prove that, I did a different one earlier. These are still in stock as well, and I used one of the MAJESTIC butterflies, and again I've used blue, the pink and the gold, the vintage gold on here, and I've just inked up the stamp with the glue, stamped it down, and then just randomly placed the Gilding Flakes all over. It's just such a beautiful effect. You know what I mean? You can do so many different things with it, and once you've started mixing them, you're going to end up with so many different varieties of colour. You know, you've got, what is it, 8 pots. You're going to end up with dozens of different varieties of colour. Okay, so that was the butterfly. And then this, if you remember, before Christmas, I used the Petal Flourish background to do in blue and white. So I went back to one of the stencils and I just inked with glue through one of the stencils just to highlight some of the little parts on here. It's not perfect, but I honestly think that some of the beauty of these Gilding Flakes is that they don't look perfect sometimes. I think it gives it that sort of grungy look. If you go in the group and look for Miriam's post that she did with that huge big sentiment stamp, you know, the one for the birthday, and she mixed colours on that, and it didn't take in every single tiny little place, but I think it added to the overall effect of the stamp because it just looked a little bit more grungy, really bright, really cheerful, but a little bit grungy because there were little bits missing, and I think that was perfect. So, what's the matter with Sarah? Let me go back. Can't see some people's comments. Yeah, it's because it's on more than one platform, Sarah. Some are watching on YouTube, some are watching in the group, some are watching on Lisa's page. So that's why you can't see them all. They're not secret or anything. So yeah, just use little parts of your stencils and pick out little details to use the Gilding Flakes on, because that works really beautiful. No worries, Connie. Hope you go on okay. Morning, Christine from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Wow. So yeah, individual stencils, pick out little details. And then, as I say, Lisa says this glue will stay tacky until you put Gilding Flakes on. It absolutely will. I put this glue on yesterday on this card. Can you see that patch of glue on there? Can you hear it? It's still tacky. Yeah? So if I use some of these holographic ones, don't know whether I've got enough in here. I'll use the use them out of the bottle. Put some Gilding Flakes on here, and once you've added your Gilding Flakes on that patch of glue, your Gilding Flakes will still stick to that little patch because it's going to stay tacky until you add your flakes. You can also add glitter or embossing powders. This is a Wow embossing powder. It's a deep purple, but I've used the glue and then I've added the embossing powder on top, and then used my heat gun to set it. And again, that would have stayed tacky until I'd actually put something on it. So it can be Gilding Flakes, it can be glitter, anything really. It will stay tacky until you've added your topper. Okay. I haven't covered the whole piece there, but I'm not worried because I probably won't use it. Although I could die cut this piece and use it on a project. So die cut some little flowers or something and use it on a project. Okay, so that was really just to prove that it will stay tacky until you add something to it. All right. And then the last couple of things that I wanted to show you. This piece here was just a piece of black card. And again, this is the black card out of the stencil brushes pack. So when you unpack your stencil brushes, don't throw the little pieces of black card away because they do come in really useful. And I've just literally used a sponge and sponged the whole piece of card with glue. You don't need very much glue. And then I've just randomly tipped the flakes wherever, really. I wanted a bit more pink in the middle, but it doesn't matter because I can still use it. And again, I will die cut this with flowers or something like that and use that for a different project. Okay, but it's really just to show you how beautifully they sort of blend together, and it doesn't matter what colours you use, how heavy-handed you are, you'll always find a use for them. So lastly, this piece, I did this morning. I don't know whether you can see that there are actually some strips of double-sided tape here. So what I did was sponge the glue between the pieces of tape. Okay, it's gone on the tape as well, but I'm not worried about that. And then what I'm going to do is take these pieces of tape off. I have to bear with me because I've got to find the edge because I can't really see them. And then I'm going to add a different colour to where the double-sided tape is. So that you've got a silver background, she said, could be here a while. You've got a silver background and then you've got stripes which are a totally different colour. They will come off, honest. I tried earlier on to see if it would come off okay, and it would. But because I'm live, it's playing silly devils. Okay, so that's your first strip. And then peel off your tape. Oh, that's taking my card with it as well. I knew I should have done some of these and just taken one strip off. Okay, so before I take any more off, I am just going to add some little bits down to here on the bits that are just tape. And it will work with double-sided tape. It will work with the adhesive sheets that Danny put on the website. It works with the glue. It's just so versatile. Just have some fun with it, you know. Don't fret about it too much. Enjoy it. Have some fun and experiment. Because you'll get so many different effects depending on which way you use them. So of course, just rubbing this around, I can move it around and fill my pieces where my tape was. I'm only going to do these two pieces because it just takes me so long to find the edge of the tape. But you could do different patterns with it. You know, the checked stencil that we did, you know, the one with the so many different stencils with different space between the lines, you could do something similar using your Gilding Flakes and double-sided tape if you wanted to. Okay, so if I just pop the lid back on there, always make sure that you keep your lids on when you're not actually using the flakes, because otherwise they will float out of the jar. Okay, so you can have different coloured stripes. You could also cut a piece of card, put your tape down the middle and do the same sort of effect, and then you'll have sort of card and stripes as opposed to glitter and glitter stripes. Are you with me? But it's just experiment, have fun, enjoy it. Yes, it's messy, and I will have to hoover now that I've finished this, because otherwise I should be traipsing Gilding Flakes all through the house. But I think the card that we did to start with, and the one that I've done today, what have I done with it here, and the one that I've done today, use your different stamps. See what effect you can get with the different stamps that you've got. It's going to work with anything. Just be careful that you don't go over the top with your glue, okay? You need to have a light hand when you apply your glue to your stamp, because you can always go back and add a little bit more. But once you've gone too heavy-handed and it spreads into the parts of the stamp that you don't want it to spread into, then you'll get a completely different effect. Yeah, a couple of dozen anti-static bags. Yes, cats will look brilliant with covered in Gilding Flakes. That's why I don't let my cat in my craft room, because he's so nosy. He really would just end up looking like a walking piece of glitter. But you can see, whatever stamp you use, you're going to get a totally different effect. I mean, I love this. There's 2 sets of the butterflies that are still in stock. There was this one, which is the MAJESTIC, and the wings and things. The jeweled butterflies have gone. They went ages and ages ago. But looking at the different types of stamps I've used here will just show you, what effects you can get with whatever stamps you've got. And obviously they don't have to be Lisa's stamps. It's nice if they are, and you can only show them in the group if you use Lisa's stamps, but use them on anything. They're just so versatile. And as Lisa showed you on Friday, that fabulous frame that Miriam did, what a brilliant idea to repurpose something and give it a new lease of life. Brilliant. MDF, it'll stick to MDF like a dream. So go away and have fun. Enjoy them. They're amazing. And I'm definitely hooked. Definitely. So I will love you and leave you there. I'll be back with you on Monday. Obviously, Lisa will be with you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as usual. And Claire will be back with you next Tuesday. So I'll be doing Monday and Thursday. Monday, Claire Tuesday, Claire Thursday, Lisa Friday. Okay, so Happy New Year to everybody. Enjoy 2024. It's going to be amazing. I can't say any more than that. So have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye now.